work on this week?
Playing.
Listening a lot of bossa.
Listening to more bossa?
Uh,
More new stuff or more of the same stuff?
he just puts on this mix of 40
Okay.
like popular covers.
Mm-hmm. Are you starting to like it a little bit? How about more than before? Yeah. Okay. Because that's really kind of the way that it goes. As you build familiarity with it, it becomes more likable, more listenable. So even if it's only a little bit every week, it's still going to be a little bit more. And then as you learn things to play along with, then it gets even better. So, okay. So that was, did you practice much or did you mostly listen?
Mostly listen. We practiced how many times? 3.
3 times? Okay. And when you were practicing, did you work on forms? Did you work on reading? Did you work on...
Mostly forms.
Okay. How's that coming along? Feeling more comfortable? Yeah.
Better.
Okay.
Yeah, I would put on, there's a YouTube channel that I found that has a whole bunch of popular songs that got converted into bossa.
Okay.
And a lot of the songs don't have drums, so it's like, here, I'm going to play this song. You've got 2 measures to figure out what to play.
Sure.
Awesome.
Sure. Okay. Well, let's, what form did you work on the most? Also bossa? Okay. Can I hear that?
Yeah, I forgot my 6th though.
Oh, nice job.
Probably more used to ones like these. Let's use those. Cool. So one of the other things that you can use, because you got to start developing a little bit of variety, right? So you can use what I call a half bossa. So it's just the first measure of the 2-bar pattern. Yeah. So that's another good one for verse when you're wanting to come down a little bit lower. But yeah, for the most part, that's it. So what I want to try this time is something a little bit different. So especially since you've been listening a lot recently, this time I want you to do a similar thing. I want you to play form, but I want you to go a little bit heavier with the embellishment. Okay, I'm actually asking you to go crazy. Isn't that fun? So,
well, I know you don't mean full crazy.
Yeah, I mean, no double pedal, right? So try to stay within the style, but let's try to play a little less safe. You know what I mean? Take some chances. If it doesn't come out good, whatever. Just roll it over into the new bar and keep going and try something else. Yeah? So that way we can kind of see when you're sort of in it and you're feeling it, what other like fancier things. Maybe take a full bar fill instead of just bop bop boom boom. You know, that kind of a thing. You can be a little more creative with the way that you use your hat, the way that you use your bell on the ride cymbal, all kinds of stuff like that, right? So this time give me just a bit more spice on it, yeah?
Do.
All right, go for it. Didn't like it too much? Good. That's actually the start of it, right? Because when we start to build tools for our tool belt, it's not enough to just, ooh, I like this one fill. It's also helpful to go, ooh, I didn't really like that very much. You can take that, you can pull it out of your bucket, and you can toss it away. Or even just kind of save it for later. Maybe if I clean that up, it'll sound nicer, right? Because like, for example, using the bark on your hi-hat, it was a bit abrasive, but if you were to soften it a little bit, it can be pretty nice. Rather than, you know what I mean? So sometimes it's a good idea, we need to kind of play with it a little bit. So
Clean it up.
you trust your ears, right? If something didn't sound that good to you, does that mean necessarily that it was a bad idea? Not really, right? It just means, well, it isn't good the way that it is. I don't like it the way that it is. So is it a good idea that I can salvage by cleaning it up, changing my dynamics, or, that kind of thing? Or am I going to just throw it out entirely because it wasn't a good idea? You know what I mean? So I want you to think about that a little bit more. So you were talking to me earlier about how the recordings that you have at the moment don't really have a lot of drums on them. Okay, so
Some of them do.
maybe this week we can start, now that he's getting a little more comfortable with the flavor, maybe branch out from like the covers, or at least get to something that has some drums on it.
There's some that do. It's just
Okay.
the ones that I was like, hey, I know these 3 songs don't have it. So I jump forward to those songs and be like, you've got 2 bars to figure out to play something.
And to be clear, I don't think that's a bad idea. I think having some drumless tracks that you can play along to and you can embellish over the top of, I think that's great. So this is just a different direction, right? So what I want is for him to hear ideas.
Okay.
Because I think most of his ideas that he's playing along with are coming from me, which is good, but he needs other sources as well.
Yeah.
you know?
All the other tracks, the only thing they do is they'll flatten it out. Because they're pop songs that they've flattened out.
Yeah.
So it's like
and
just 2
even
and
then,
4.
Yeah, a lot of the stuff that you're gonna find is the first boss I ever had him do was Ipanema, and there was nothing going on in there at all. So, finding something from like a virtuoso that really is going to, like, it's not really a drummer's kind of song or a style, I guess, so it's a lot more laid back, because they have a lot of stuff in South America for sure that are very percussion heavy, and that's the kind of stuff that they're gonna pop off and go crazy with, sambas and mambos, and those are gonna be kind of the things that are gonna feature more virtuoso type players. So,
What's virtuoso?
like very, very, very talented, very good, like
The Ellis Taparios of that.
yeah, like Jimmy Brandley might be a guy to look into, for example. Like I've seen him live. He's a monster with Latin music. So to just kind of listen to a couple things, and I think he even writes. So you can probably find songs that he wrote, and he's the drummer. So they're gonna definitely feature drums, That's just one name off the top of my head, but yeah, that kind of thing. Because what that's gonna do is that's gonna give you more ideas, right? Because even my toolbox is gonna be a little bit shallow, But, and all this to say, most of the time when I'm playing a bossa, I'm not playing anything that's really out anyway. A lot of times just kind of little quick that little things like that, boom boom kind of fills, but definitely nothing like like really sync it. That's the stuff that I tend to save more for like sambas and stuff.
Yeah, that's just a little splash of ketchup on your burger.
Yeah, because a lot of times with bossa, the vibe that they're going for is like people sipping wine in a lounge, or relaxing on the beach or something like that, and you pull out some like wicked Tom Phil, they're gonna spill their wine on themselves. You're gonna startle them, so not the music for that. Whereas like, if you've ever seen like the big parties out in the streets and stuff like that, that's like samba music, that's mambo, that's
rock.
Soca, think of like some of the soccas that I've shown you, really fast kind of, even Spain, and that's pretty mellow for a samba, not mellow tempo, but like mellow vibe, right?
Yeah.
right? Like really kind of a chill melody to it instead of like all these whistles and all these like big, you know, big percussion feature like kind of stuff that would get you amped. And so I think we can start to work on bossa from that capacity, but also I think we should start branching out into some other styles as well. So maybe we can listen to some sambas this week.
I got the samba like pattern down because of Spain. So I just need to.
Well, the way we played Spain was kind of a shortcut, right? Yeah. So if you were to actually play it like Weckl, you're gonna play it like a samba at that tempo, and that's fast.
But now I know. Now I have the pattern in my head. So I just.
Yeah. So you take a medium tempo and just do it a ton, and you'll get better at it. Your skate will come out quicker, and at medium tempos, it's going to be easier to pull stuff out too. Do you remember Herdas? Yeah. So those are great to use. So you're playing the verse pattern. You can put really want something that's going to throw somebody, you can do Herdas, but put your right hand on the floor tom. That kind of thing, right? That's anybody who is not really paying that much attention, that's the kind of stuff that will throw them for a loop, which is fun, right? And with samba, they're asking for it, so... not like surprising somebody in a bossa. Okay, so how about review basic samba form with me real quick, and then that way you can start listening. You can start getting some ideas this week. Gotta get a bass drum in there. Breaking into partito alto and then also leaving it in the right spot, because one of the things that happens a lot is you get to this bop 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 bop, and then you break out of it, and it's like, no, that's not beat 1 anymore. You know what I mean? That you're breaking out on beat 3 at that point. So important to keep track of your downbeats. And I will show you all kinds of cool stuff. You know, there's like I believe it's called the tumbao pattern, if you've ever seen me do that on the floor tom. So, like this kind of thing. Feels weird being on the side.
You always taught me not to do this.
I know. But they're going for a specific sound. They want a dead, like, dig the stick in, and then they want it to ring twice. Boom. Boom. So that's kind of what they're looking for. And so the cool thing is that you'll be studying with Al pretty soon, and like he's really good with all that kind of stuff. So that'll challenge you for a while, because he's going to give you something like that, and it's going to be like, how do I play this? He'll get you going on polyrhythms and stuff. So I guess with that in mind, this is a bit of a tangent, but he does do a lot of stuff with polyrhythms. Are you good with your 2 and 3 together? So
that was 4 and 3.
3 and 4, which is cool. That was what I was going to ask you next.
I don't remember my 2 and 3.
So
Carol of the Bells,
yeah,
dude.
it's just Carol of the Bells. 1, 2, and 3. 1, 2, and 3. 1 triplet, 2 triplet, 1 triplet, 2 triplet, 1 triplet, 2 triplet. 1, 2, and 3. 1, 2, and 3.
Yep.
Yeah, see if you can. It's tough. Yeah, the triplet one is way harder for everybody. There you go. 1 triplet, 2 triplet, 1 triplet, 2 triplet, 1, 2, and 3.
I can't
1,
pronounce
2,
that
and 3.
fast though. I keep one to.
If you need tita, you can do tita. 1, 2, and 3. 1, 2, and 3. 1 tita, 2 tita, 1 tita, 2 tita, 1, 2, and 3. Whatever needs to happen there. But the big thing is that you can jump back and forth between those. You can move them back and forth on your hands, as well as being able to count them back and forth, so that you can play that pattern in 3, but you can also play it in 2. Yeah.
1, 2, and 3. And then
So if you were playing in 3, 1, 2, and 3, 1, 2, and 3. And be able to hear how that fits in there. Yeah. Because see, that's what the pattern is, right? 1 and 2 and 3. 1 and 2 and 3. 1 and 2 and 3. So what that is when you're playing that pattern, if you do quarter notes, then it's 3 and 2 split up between your hi-hat and your bass drum. You see? So that's 3 and 2, but from the hi-hat and bass drum. And then for you to be able to play in 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, and to be able to play 3 over the top of it. Yeah, a little trickier.
That was close.
Because you gotta hear the triplets.
I don't hear triplets. I hear.
What does that sound like all of a sudden? It's all connected, bud. Listen. It's all connected.
Why is everything connected?
Yeah, there it is. So, right, you can hear how one exists within another one, right? So that's the kind of stuff that Al's gonna really go heavy into, and it's really cool. It's gonna confuse you, and you're gonna have steam coming out of your ears. Trust me, right? But then you spend some time with it, and it's like, oh, actually, this is really cool, and you're gonna like it a lot. But it's gonna fry you at first. So there were a couple times where we get done with the lesson. He's like, "Are you good?" I'm like, "Yeah. Just give me a sec."
Let me process what you're telling me.
Yeah. It'll click like on the drive on the way home, and then I'm gonna be stoked. But like right now, I'm hurting a bit. So
Does that make sense?
that's something to look forward to. But and then also, can you do 3 and 4? You showed me a little bit. I know that you know. Take okay. So then, but can you hear it from the 3 perspective?
One, a 2, and 3 and.
Mm-hmm. Oh, sorry. Take the busted broken is from 3. I mean from 4. That's the harder one. So I don't have a clever. 1, 2 T, 3, let 4. 1, 2 T, 3, let 4. 1, 2 T, 3, let 4. So they're still triplets. Yeah. Yeah. So.
That's just confusing me.
That one's tough in my brain. I hear for 3.
Yeah. It's always easier for us to count from 3, because if we have 3 and an even number, then counting in 3 is going to give you 8 notes. If you're counting the even number with 3, then now you have to think triplets.
Oh dang.
which is why it's
That
weird, right?
explains it.
So when you're 2 and 3, 1, 2 and 3, 1, 2 and 3, very comfortable. Even though you don't play in 3 very often, it's still pretty comfortable.
Playing
Whereas you play in 2 more often, but to hear the triplets, 1 triplet, 2 triplet, 1 triplet, 2 triplet, 1 triplet, 2 triplet. It's a little weirder because we don't default to thinking in triplets unless you're like, you grew up and have always played jazz, then maybe. But so far I haven't had a student like that. So, those are good things to play with. Your form is going to be useful because one of the things that he's going to do is when you first show up, he's going to ask you to play him some things. He might be a little more specific and he might be a little more general. He might be like, oh, just play me whatever you want, and then he'll go from there. He might also say, okay, cool. Now that because when he asks you to play whatever you want, what are you going to play?
Rock.
Yeah. So he's gonna, and then okay, cool. So you're a rock drummer because that's what you picked, right? But then he's gonna say, okay, how's your Latin? How's your swing?
What if I just play rock? What if I just play Latin first?
It would probably surprise him. But
Well,
eventually
there we
he's gonna find out sooner or later. You can't trick him forever. So yeah, just something to think about because he's got to figure out where you're at, and then he can take you from there. But then yeah, he'll use his connections and whatever to start having you audition for like honor bands and stuff like that, where you get to play with other kids that are as dedicated to music at your same age.
Oh, wow.
So
That sounds fun.
yeah, that kind of stuff is cool. So you're kind of just getting to the age where that's like reasonable. So that was something that I was going to kind of start hitting him up for. I was going to do it for Wyatt and Aiden, but then they ended up in Bacalli's program, and then they had all they auditioned for that on their own anyway. So I didn't have to really lead the charge there. They were already doing it because Bacalli was putting them through that. So, but yeah, Wyatt was like, oh, it's hard. I don't want to do it. It's a lot of work, blah, blah, blah. But then he did do it, and he got up on stage, and he played with other people that were really talented, and he was like, actually, that was a lot of fun. That's what he told me. So.
Sounds like me for the
Yeah, it kind of does, huh? Okay.
I have to use the bathroom. I'll be right back.
Okay.